Hi, I'm Katie, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to make some delicious homemade chocolate truffles that make an awesome gift for anyone this Christmas. I'm going to show you how to roll and dip truffles. I'm even going to show you how to make molded truffles. I'm then going to go on and show you how to package them into really beautiful gifts that you'd be glad to give anyone. So stick around. I'm going to share tips, tricks, and give you some ingredient guides as we go through this. And in the description, you'll find the guidelines for these recipes. There's no firm recipes for these truffles, just some ratios. So I'll leave those down below. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Let's get into the video.
Step 1 is filling. So we're going to take some heavy whipping cream, heat it up in the microwave, not till it's boiling, but just before. And then we're going to add chocolate chips. For rolled truffles, you want to use a 2-to-1 ratio of chocolate chips or chocolate to heavy whipping cream. And once it's had a chance to sit in the hot cream, we're going to give it a stir until it becomes smooth. And this is what it should look like. It's nice and thick. If it's not smooth after you stir, then throw it in the microwave for 30-second increments. Chocolate will burn if you put it in there too long, so be careful. I then take it and split it between 2 bowls. Now it's time to add our flavoring. Now you can leave it just as regular chocolate. To the first bowl, I'm going to add coconut flavoring. And to my second bowl, I'm going to add peppermint. There are so many options here. You guys could add like fruit, like raspberry, strawberry. You could even add cheesecake. By the way, you could use white chocolate here. I don't do that. You're going to put it in the fridge for an hour or two till it sets up, and then you're going to scoop it into balls. If you leave it overnight, it's going to get super hard, and I actually did leave mine overnight, and it got very hard, and so I had to leave it on the counter for an hour or two, and it was good to go. You then want to roll them and get them smooth. So this is real chocolate here. This has cocoa butter in it, and then this is what we call fake chocolate. It has vegetable oil in it. They both have their purposes, so we'll use this real chocolate to make the filling because it tastes delicious, but we'll use the compound chocolate to coat our truffles. And this is compound chocolates like almond bark or candy melts or anything like that, but then we'd like to use the real chocolate on the outside too, but chocolate has to be something called tempered. When you heat it up, it becomes untempered, and you could learn how to temper. It is a bit of a process, so you're welcome to do that. I'm just making it super easy and using candy melts, which do not need to be tempered. If chocolate is not tempered, when you pull it out of the fridge, it'll kind of melt, and it'll melt in your hands, and it won't have that nice snap to it that chocolate has. So that's why it's important to either temper your chocolate or use a compound chocolate. All right, so I'm going to dip these truffles now. I have some candy melts here, which is just compound chocolate. It works better for dipping the truffles than real chocolate would. We don't have to temper it. And there's usually instructions on how to melt it. Typically, you're just going to do 30-second increments. Do not microwave it for too long, and always stir in between those increments. Chocolate can and will burn, and I've burned plenty of chocolate microwaving it, so be careful. Here I'm just throwing it into my container of chocolate, kind of swishing some chocolate over the top and pulling it out, and you're just going to keep repeating this process. I use a spoon in this clip, but really a fork works pretty good because the chocolate falls through it, but either one will work. Now here I'm putting some sprinkles on the top. If you're going to put something on the top like this, you need to do it while it's wet. So usually I'll dip a few, sprinkle, and then move back and forth. I also do that here with these coconut flavored truffles. I'll dip them in the chocolate and then sprinkle the toasted coconut on. I really love showing what's inside the truffle on the outside. So if you're making an almond truffle, throw some toasted almonds. A turtle truffle, throw some toasted pecans, whatever it might be. Use the flavors inside to dictate what you put on the outside. And again, make sure that chocolate's still melted. Here I'm putting some regular truffles without any flavoring into some pink candy melts, just to mix it up a little bit. Obviously, sometimes I like to use the outside to hint at what's inside, but here I'm just doing this for fun. Now I'm going to put a white chocolate drizzle on it. So I have some water I've heated in the microwave, and I have a piping bag with candy melts, and I use that spoon to push it down into the water because the air in it will kind of float it back to the top. I massage it around, and I still feel a few chunks, so I'm actually going to put it back into the water for a minute or two more, and it'll just sit in there and finish melting. When I pull it out, I will feel it again. It feels good, and then I'll take a towel and dry it off. You never want water in chocolate. This is like the #1 rule. It'll seize up it'll turn into a big mass and it won't be melted anymore. And sometimes it won't melt again. It'll be hard forever. So you're going to snip off the corner of the piping bag and then come over to the truffles and pipe that on. It makes them look so fun, so quick. So if you're looking for a way to decorate your truffles, this is a great one. And you guys, there are so many. I'm just showing you a few examples. Again, I do like to hint at what's inside. So these are the peppermint truffles, so using a little green. Although in hindsight, I was thinking I should have used red and white, a little more Christmassy, but I guess green's Christmas too. And it's a really quick way to dress them up. Now they're all cooled off. You can pop them in the fridge, but this compound chocolate will set up on the countertop, which is great. We want these hard at room temperature. You see here, I'm just breaking off these chunks of chocolate. If you have anything sticking out, break it off, clean it up. These are not perfect truffles. They're homemade, all right? So you'll notice that, but I still think they look really nice and professional-ish for being homemade. And I'm just dropping them into these little wrappers that I have, these little gold candy melt wrappers. Now, we are moving on to the second half of this video, which is over molded truffles. So using a mold. Now, I'm making the ganache, and this ganache is not the same as the first one. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so like 1 cup of heavy cream to 1 cup of chocolate chips. It makes for a thinner coating. Now here, I'm melting some candy melts. You guys just saw the mold that I'm going to use. Now I'm taking my candy melts, that coating chocolate, and I'm pouring it into my mold. All right, and I'm filling it almost all the way to the top. It seems kind of weird, but stick with me here. So I'm pouring that into the mold, making sure all the cracks and crevices are filled up. And if I see anything needs to be filled in, I'll just pour in some more chocolate until everything's good. And then I'll take it back over and I'll dump out the excess. I'm creating a candy shell here. I'll pull in my bench scraper and scrape it off. You could use anything to scrape it off. And then I'm going to pour my ganache into a bag, and I'm going to take that, snip off the corner, and my candy shell has hardened in the fridge, and now I'm just going to pop the ganache into the mold. Once I have all of the ganache into the mold, I'm going to take the mold and I'm going to give it some taps to get all the air out and get that ganache settled down. You don't want to fill it all the way with ganache because you need room for this. Now this is the compound chocolate, the same thing we coated the outside with. This is to seal it up. And I'm using a piping bag. You could spoon it over, I suppose. This works pretty well. And I'm just going over. You want to make sure you have plenty because you don't want any holes in this. Any holes the ganache will leak out of. And again, I'm giving it some taps. You want to get it down in all the cracks and crevices. You want the air bubbles to come out. And then coming back in with that bench scraper, scraping it off, and then send it into the fridge. Once that's done, you're going to pop it out. I use the silicone mold from Hobby Lobby, and it makes it pop out really quick. And you see it gives it a fun, professional look, and it's something fun to try. You don't have to do any rolling or anything like that, so it's a little bit different but fun. Now is to package them. Now I got these boxes from Hobby Lobby. They're called cookie boxes. I know Amazon sells different things, so find something to put your truffles in. I think these boxes are really nice. And then I have those little candy wrappers, and I'm just setting the truffles in, and already they're starting to look super professional. I love the look. And we're just filling up this box and closing it up. And again, you could get boxes off Amazon. I actually used to sell truffles in the 4th grade, and I used cream cheese boxes. I would cover them in really cute paper. So honestly, it's not the worst idea if you're looking for something, you don't have anything. I have some of this baker's twine, and I think it's really festive and very cute. So I wrapped it a few times around and tied a bow. And then I also came in with this little pom-pom decoration and just brought it underneath. And it's actually like a wire, so I just went underneath and twisted it until it was tight. And then I had a really cute decoration. I think these look super special, and I would love to get these. Having these special truffles and then having them nicely packaged is even better. Here's another idea. I used kind of like this green vine and a bow and then this little ornament. So if you want to tuck a little ornament in there too, just for fun. This one's a monogram one, which is even cuter. I think it's really fun if you give somebody a variety pack of all your different flavors. So I kind of showcase that here, that filling up the box with all these different flavors. On this last box, I kept it super simple. Just used the baker's twine, tied a little bow, trimmed up the ends, and I was good to go.
I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you make these truffles. I really think if you have a Christmas party this year and you're not sure what activity to do, you're thinking maybe we should watch a movie, I think you should make truffles. Make the ganache part ahead of time, but then invite everyone over, start melting the candy melt and dipping them and decorating them together, and then package them up and everyone can take some and gift them. I think that'd be really fun. So if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you think someone else might want to watch this video, share it with them. And I'd love to hear in the comments which flavors you're planning to make. There really is no limits. You can make whatever flavor you want. So I'd love to hear what you're planning to make. Have a good week, and I'll see you on Monday with another gift guide.